What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Graham Mill interview episode. This is going to be episode 24. The title of this episode is Her Desires, Your Pleasure. I'm with a special guest today, our honorary guest. His name is Mac the Day Gamer. Welcome, Mac the Day Gamer. He is in the building. How are you doing, brother?
What's up, man? It's good to be chatting on your show. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just out chilling out here in Japan. So life is good. Life is good.
Excellent, man. Excellent. So I want to give a shout out to the chat. So shout out to our mod Marcus, who's in the chat already. Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you, man. All right. So let's see. The purpose of this episode is very different. It's very here we're the previous episodes I've showcased men about how they're helping men with their clients with this being able to, let's say, get a girlfriend, or how to choose the right partner, how to even get a date. Now, Mac is someone that has personally, so I've been in a coaching seminar with other men where he's been there and he's given me advice before. I've asked him questions. And the reason why I want to have Mac on my show is because Mac has a very interesting Instagram. If you go on his Instagram, you see a lot of things that a lot of guys don't have necessarily the courage to do it, or they don't have the ability to do it because of getting judged and being canceled, all this kind of stuff. Mac is a rogue agent in Japan right now. And he's going to give a little bit about himself, so I don't want to talk too much about who he is as a person, but I want to just share a little bit about how I got to meet him. So that's how I met him. And when I realized that there's a dark side that you can bring out of yourself and get girls that you interact with to be more kinky with you. And that doesn't mean you have to wait for them to be your girlfriend to get them kinky with you. I mean, Mac and I learned this from Mac, but I realized that girls can get kinky with you like that. So Mac has that special ability. He knows how to read women very well. He knows how to read himself very well. That's why he's so good at it, because he understands who he is as a person. So I want to now give to Mac, talk a little bit about, Mac, could you please share with us a little bit about your past? What brought you to Japan, for example? What's going on in the present moment? What kind of businesses do you have? What are you running? And then in the future, do you have any future aspirations, any kind of goals you're aiming for?
Right. Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for that introduction there. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Mac the Day Gamer. Call me Mac. I'm originally from Ireland. I came to Japan in 2015. I think I probably became RP aware in about 2014. I came across Rollo Tomasi's work. I didn't really delve too much into the manosphere or the it kind of opened up my mind. I read, I think, There Is No One, and I can't remember. It was a few Rollo Tomasi articles that really kind of opened my eyes up to realize, the reality of the dynamics between men and women. And I'd kind of become, RP aware before I came to Japan. But in Ireland, where it's a culture of relies on alcohol, so the bars and nightclubs are pretty much the only places where people, where guys can meet girls, because it's a really kind of repressed. It's a weird country. Ireland got all the worst elements of progressivism, like the worst shit, like all the Me Too, all the worst kind of progressive shit. It never had like a sexual revolution. It just got all the shit parts. Yeah, you know what I mean? So basically, when I came out here to Japan, I was I'd never really done day game. I never really did done it. But I moved to a part of Japan where it was like the nightlife wasn't that great. It was kind of it was a big enough city, but it was a very Japanese city. It wasn't like Tokyo, and the nightlife, they do this. They call them like izakayas, and they're little snack bars, and there's all these little small bars, and I just wasn't really, I was getting laid the odd time from nightlife, but honestly, like just going out and about, like, because I lived in the city. Like, it blew my mind how unbelievable, how hot the girls were. I don't have, coming to Japan, I didn't have any like yellow fever or anything like that. I mean, I just like hot girls. Like, I like hot girls. I don't care what color they are. If they're sexy, if
Facts.
they're feminine, they're hot. I want to fuck them, right? You know what
Yep.
I mean? But just the numbers blew my mind. Like, the amount of sexy girls that you would see just like walking about, you going about your business, like, just it was just nuts. So I just almost had to learn day game. I just had to do it. Like, it was just it was kind of, I just started doing it like without even thinking about it. I never really, I didn't, like I said, I had been familiar with Rolla Tomasi's work a little bit, um, but when I started doing day game, I just started doing it. Like, just started trying my hand at it. Like, I'd see a really hot girl, like, I just have to go and approach her. And at the start, it's like really awkward and clumsy, but eventually you start having success, and you start learning from all your mistakes and all that. Um, um, but I think I ended up in Tokyo anyway. But I'd come across. I saw MLD, Modern Life Dating, on a stream with I think it was Richard Cooper, and I'd
Hmm.
been watching a few of their streams, and he was mentioning Japan and Tokyo, and I was like, why is this guy? I didn't realize he was in Tokyo. I didn't really know of him. I didn't never seen him before, but I just I hit him up and say, yo, you in Tokyo? And he was in Tokyo. We linked up. I moved down to Tokyo. Then we linked up, and we kind of hit it off. And he saw me. We'd hang out. He'd see me just like, because I was day game at that point. By the time I moved to Tokyo, day game was like just something I did. I didn't. I didn't even. I knew I was good at it, but I didn't. Um, it was kind of when I met MLD, he was like, "Oh shit, man, you're really good at this. Like, you need to like set up a YouTube or do something, because you might as well teach guys. You're doing it already. You might as well teach guys how to do it as well at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone." So yeah, that's how I that's how I pretty much set up my YouTube and just started becoming part of this kind of sphere.
Shout out to MLD, by the way, for creating such a great program, for helping me, helping you with your content, getting your name out there. Because if it wasn't for MLD, I wouldn't know Lucario, wouldn't know you, wouldn't know a bunch of people. So
Yeah, man.
big shout out to MLD for that. So thank you for that, MLD.
He's
Now
an
the
animal.
other,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I just say he sets up shit in Tokyo too. So he's definitely good at hooking people up.
I love that. I love that. So,
Mm.
Mac, was it for you? Were you natural, would you say, when it came to speaking to women? Because I'll tell you a little bit about me, and then I would like to know your answers. So, I was charming when I spoke to women. I would say my biggest issue was learning how to escalate. I was kind of give off a little bit of like a friendly, soft vibe about myself too. And I would still get with women. Like, I was hooking up with women when I was like 14, 13 years old, but just kissing and stuff. It wasn't until I was, later down the road in in life, where I lost my virginity, and then finally started just going on this rampage. And then once MLD came in the picture, whoo, it just started going whoop like that.
Right.
Now I'm freaking solid as hell, man. I'm dead center. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how to speak to these women, and they feel this BDE energy, right? Like the big energy. They feel that shit. And I remember there's a girl that I'm dating. She told me that one time, and when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, I can see that. I can see it. And since then, I've been embracing it. And I think low key, she's just like, ooh, I shouldn't have told him that, but I'm kind of happy I did at the same time. So, what's your take on this for yourself, Matt? Or what's your how were you with women when you were younger, or just going into MLD's program? Like, what kind of development did you have when you got into Tokyo?
Okay, so I mean, no, I went to an all male high school, all boys high school. Like, I from 12 years old to 18, almost 19 years old. For 6 solid years, I was not really around girls. About 15, 16, 17, started, in Ireland. Started drinking a bit. Started going to these parties and stuff. But just really, really terrible. When I was sober, I was really, really awkward around women because obviously you're a teenager. I hadn't grown up with, I'd been segregated from women, like from chicks. So just had a bit of a complex about them. Just not comfortable talking with them because I was pedestalizing them. Because, obviously you're a teenager, you're extremely attracted to them. So you get nervous, you get so I was kind of a late bloomer, late starter, getting with chicks because I just, you're a product of your environment. I wasn't around them. And it was just something that took me a while, it wasn't, until probably, I went to college then I went to an art college, which was like 70% chicks. And it was, and a lot
Sounds
of
like an
guys,
amazing college. Sounds like an amazing college.
it was, yeah, but and a lot of the guys that went there were gay because it was an art college, So,
Right.
but honestly, it was a missed opportunity. I had a good time, but I really didn't take full advantage of it because I was starting off, at a disadvantage. I was like I was socially kind of, retarded around chicks, to be honest, like seriously, because, I just hadn't gotten that experience. It just wasn't around them. Like I said, I was pedestalizing them. I was getting nervous around them because, I just had, you're attracted to them. You think they're great and you want to fuck them and, so that was a learning curve, man. But, it wasn't until like, I'm fine with, I used to rely on alcohol. I would like, it was alcohol I relied on the whole time. But it's such a terrible strategy. If you need to rely on alcohol to get with women, you don't have game. I've had this argument with people. It's like, oh no, I'm great with women when I have alcohol. That doesn't mean shit. That's not special. That's not game. There's no game, and you don't have game. Oh, but no, I just need a few drinks. Oh, shut the fuck up. You don't have game if you need alcohol. It's not. It's like it's a drug. Like you're taking a drug. Like it's not game.
Preach.
Yeah, you just can't be relying on alcohol. And plus, it's like I don't know. The best sex you're gonna have is when you're sober.
Absolutely.
Sober sex.
And Mac, think about it this way. When you drink, let's be honest, like when us guys go out to drink, we're not planning on having one drink. All of a sudden, if you lack game, right, and you rely on alcohol to get with women, okay, you relied on alcohol. You pregame with your friends, you save a couple bucks, cool. Now you're driving to the bar or you're taking an Uber. Now you're in the bar and then you see a pretty girl and you're like, hey, can I buy you a drink? As like your first freaking opening line, like a no game, like retard, right? YouTube chill. Yeah. Whenever the whole thing, guys just go about it in such a wrong way. I remember I was in Vegas one time and yes, okay, the line does work sometimes, but my buddy just literally used this line on this really fine black chick and said, hey, can I buy you a drink? And the girl's like, sure. And they ended up hooking up. But like the probability of that, that's not even, you're using a gift to get her attention. What does that say about your character? What does that say about your confidence? Like, oh, if I have an iPhone 12 right over here, if I have this iPhone 12, then, she'll like me. You're relying on materials, relying on drugs. You know how pathetic that sounds? Like, this is what Mac is saying is extremely important, guys. Do not discount what he just said. And I wanted to actually point out to Marcus what he's saying. He's like, you don't have game. Yeah, you don't have game if you need alcohol. Absolutely. You said it, brother. This is all from Mac, the Day Gamer himself. Thank you for pointing that out. And I want to give a shout out again to the chat, everybody who's just piling in right now. Shout out to Christian Matiko. Good to see you, brother. He even relates to you, Mac. Look what he said. He said, I went to an arts high school and was the only straight guy in my theater class. Was that was that an advantage for you being in that college?
I mean, it was an advantage. I mean, it was, but I mean, I couldn't take advantage of it because I was so blue pilled, man. I mean,
right.
I guess it might have been blue pill or red pill in some ways, but I was unaware of the whole sphere. I was unaware of that. I guess I gotta call myself blue pill because I didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I was,
absolutely,
what
drove you, Mac? What drove you to that point, though? Because I'll tell you a quick story. What happened for me? So throughout all the rejections, throughout all the flakes, throughout all the bad parts of dating, right? not the good parts where I got laid, but the bad parts is what got me into the RP. That's why like you have to keep going. And once you F up, fail more and more, then it gets you closer to the truth. So, or it can take you into complete like, you give up and you become one of these black pill losers, or like the guys who literally do nothing and then they're black pilled, right? Now, for me, what happened, Mac, I was in my graduate school. I was getting my MBA, and there's this really cute Lebanese chick that is in the class. She never, and you already know this is where this is going. I'll tell you exactly how it is. She always sat in the back. I always sat in the front because I want to be in front of the professor. I want to ask my questions, and I don't care about being some kind of label that teacher's pet. I just wanted to get my education, get an A, get the fuck up, right? This girl always, when class ended, she immediately walked out. She never stayed. She never said hi to people. She just immediately walked out. And I was like, damn, I want to find the right time to talk to her. Then when I would talk to her, I would be in class. But like, that's not real, that's not the real thing. You can't sexualize in class. Yes, you can, but you have to be very quiet about it. The girl's scared out of her mind when you're talking kinky, sexy shit in her ear, right? She doesn't want to hear that in class. So Mac, finally what happened is class is like over, right? The whole 6 weeks of being in school is over with this girl. I in a very weird, uncalibrated way, I did send her a message on Instagram, but the message was not weird and uncalibrated, but the act was uncalibrated. That's the situation. So I hit her up and she's like, oh, haha, you're the guy in my MBA class. It wasn't like, oh, Cameron, I'm so happy you hit me up. Oh, Cameron, I'm so excited you said this about me and everything else. I was just, Mac, I was just completely like lost. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had no guidance. No leadership from MLD, no leadership from other guys in the RP space because I didn't know who they were back then, right? And I would just go on YouTube and get advice from Matthew Hussey and all these other dating guys who have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I mean, I think there's some things we can agree on, but I think majority of the time they have no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, finally, I go on YouTube and Mac, I'm frustrated, brother. I'm so frustrated because this Lebanese chick decided to actually meet up with me, but the day of, she flakes. I go on YouTube, I'll never forget this. I'm getting off my exit. I go on YouTube and I pull over to the side and I'm just like, why do girls flake on me? Some shit like that. And then Richard Cooper's video comes up and I'm like, okay, let me see what this guy has to say. He's in a car, he's driving. This is old school Richard Cooper, not like new school Richard Cooper before the train wreck, like old school shit, 2 years ago or 3 years ago by now. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, what is this guy saying? Why does this information sound so different from everybody else's? And then I went into this rabbit hole of Richard Cooper. And then all of a sudden I see the 9 Iron Rules of Tomasi with Rollo Tomasi and Richard Cooper. So shout out to both those guys as well. Dude, that video changed my freaking life. After that, I'm like, Mac, I was like, bro, does anybody know about this? This is like secret information. This is secret. There's no way. This is not average. The media doesn't teach me this. The mainstream has never taught me this. My dad never taught me this. Teachers don't do this. Dating coaches on YouTube don't know about this. So what makes this information so special? The more and more I learn, I'm like, okay, I got privileged information right here. And then I meet people like you, and then I'm like, now Grand Cam is going to be, so it was just Cameron. It wasn't Grand yet. Bro, Cameron just kept better. And I get your coaching, I get MLD's coaching, and bro, whew. So that's how it happened for me. I was just curious, like what brought you from the blue pill to the red pill.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, it's an interesting story. Yeah, once you take it, there's no going back, is there? Like there's not really. I mean, at the same time, there are people who do go back. It's where you got to keep the sword sharp. Like some people can stray back into the blue pill ways. You could find yourself slipping. But you'll ultimately know the truth, and you're just being a coward if you go any other way.
Yep.
So what happened to me was there was a lot of small things that led up to it, but like little incidences, like but I'll tell you the main reason. But so basically I was dating this Korean chick when I was around probably around 2023, and she was pretty hot, and her visa was running out. Long story short, her visa's running out, and I was gonna follow. She was gonna go back to Korea, and I was gonna follow her over to Korea and like live with her. My brother, I think he meant well. So he was like, I think he had come across Rollo Tomasi's work before me, So he saw that, this is not really good, is it? Like I'm falling into her frame. I'm following her over to Korea with no real plan or goal. I'm just going there because she's going there. Extremely blue pill, right? So he sent me a couple articles, just said, maybe check this out. Might make you reconsider, give you a different perspective. You're still young, you might not want to just follow a chick over to Korea with no plan or,
Right.
And so I read it, and, kind of really opened my mind, but I got really angry at I got the red pill rage kind of thing. You heard about that, right? I was very angry at my brother for like trying to interfere in my business and stuff. So, but I kept coming back to the articles and reading more of Rollo Tomasi's. He'd post articles, and it would just resonate. It resonated with me, and I couldn't deny it. So eventually, I just kind of accepted it. I broke up with the chick, and just kind of like really. I entered the Mac the day gamer phase of my life. When I really started understanding, women, then when I broke up with that Korean girl, I really started like, holy shit, I really came into myself. Like I really, I started hooking up with way more chicks and just being just a fucking animal. And even before I came to Japan, I was although I hadn't done day game in Ireland, I was just being more of an animal, like even with night game, and I'd hooking up, done a little bit on dating apps, but mostly night game, and just being a savage and taking chicks home and smashing them and raw dogging them and just being just really just disgraceful shit, like. But
Mac,
then that's how I became red pill,
Mac, I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned something, you've been talking about day game and night game. For guys who just stumble onto my channel and guys who are not familiar with you and guys who just have no idea how to date women in general, they're going to hear these jargon. They don't know what it is. So what is day game and what is night game?
Night game is what day game. Well, first of all, day game is when you cold approach girls. You approach girls out in the daytime. Anywhere on the street, in the park, in the cafe, in the shopping mall. Just any cold approach, that doesn't revolve around parties or social situations. It could be anywhere, train station platforms, just anywhere. It's just like it's just out in your environment, the urban environment or wherever, and approaching a girl and trying to get a contact or trying to get a same day lay. And it's amazing. It's addictive. It's energizing. So I honestly think anyone can do it, but you have to enjoy doing it. You have to find, if you don't, it's going to be an uphill struggle if you think it's a chore. Like if you're going at it like, oh, this is a chore, I really, and it might feel like that at the start, but you're gonna have to learn how to enjoy it. I really love doing it. I've been doing it years, and I still love doing it. Yesterday I had, yesterday was an example of yesterday day game working out perfectly was, I was just going out to do some errands, pick up some things, and I usually do some day game when I do something like that. So I'd done my errands and I was walking around. It's this spot in Tokyo called Shibuya, very famous spot. It has the busiest crossroads in all of Tokyo. So I met this chick. I was doing day game. I'd probably gotten rejected, or I'd done my errands. I'd gotten what I needed to do, and I started doing cold approaches, and I'd gotten rejected about 5 times. And then I hit up this girl. She was waiting on the side of the road, and she, I rolled up, and she couldn't speak English, so I opened her. She said she's waiting for her boyfriend. So I was like, yeah, that's a shit test. So a lot of the time that's a shit test. I've banged plenty of chicks that had boyfriends, or sometimes they do have boyfriends, but I still bang them. But
I love it.
So, seriously, so this girl was a fucking smoker, and she was in the middle of giving me her Instagram, and her boyfriend pulls up in this like fucking like souped up like Mercedes, like a like pimped out car, like, and he pulls up right beside us, like, and she's like, oh, and she runs away, and I was like, fuck, like this girl was so receptive, she was seriously down, like I knew I would, like I she was giving off all the signals that I was gonna smash her. But anyway, that's just all part of it. It is what it is. So that energized me, right? I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is I'm on now." Like after getting rejected like 5 or 6 times, it kind of decreases your energy. You got to get some receptivity. So then another girl, kind of same thing. She had a boyfriend, got her Instagram anyway, but it was the next girl. She was just kind of sauntering along, perfect sign. You want to see girls that are strolling along. It looks like they have nothing to do. They're alone. They're sexy. They're hot. Obviously the whole point of the day game is you approach girls that are your type. Like, because too many guys are settling for these average fucking hoes or below average on dating apps. And that's what's fucked up the whole dating marketplace, because these bitches think that they're fucking supermodels because they're getting unbelievable amounts of attention from like millions of beta males. So it's just male nature. It's kind of I don't know whose fault it is, but it's just maybe technology's fault. But anyway, this girl was sauntering along, Cole approached her. She was like kind of, nervous, but, I was like, damn, I want to smash this girl today. So, I persuaded her to come for a walk with me. She was, receptive enough. Got a coffee. You got to build rapport, like, because at that point I was a couple of train stops away from my house. I could have gotten attacked. You have to get to a point where you're like, okay, you have to tell them if your house isn't within walking distance, you have to play the game a little differently. So I had to build up the report with her. So after around 15 to 20 minutes, I said, let's I kind of led into it by saying, oh, do you like pizza? Do you like movies? How about, let's go to my place and watch a movie. We'll order a pizza. Nice. I'll get a Domino's pizza, trying to sell it to them. You're sexiest sales. Like, you're selling it to them. You're like, setting up this like nice little image for them, watching a movie, pizza and all that, sounds good, So, she was a little hesitant, but, got her back. Within, just got her, settled her in, sat her down on the couch here. I call it the mirror technique. This is how I open. I knew that this girl was clearly down to smash. I met her just like about maybe an hour at that point. And I met her an hour ago. She's back in my place. She's here. It's about 7 p.m. So we're sitting down, we're talking. She's looking through Netflix. I'm like, I have a mirror. I call it the mirror technique. So I say, how tall? So we're both sitting down. I say, how tall are you? I stand her up. Walk her to the mirror, stand behind her, and I said, I make fun of her because she's like, way smaller than me, but she's like sexy as hell. Start like putting my hands down her waist, like, we're both looking at ourselves in the mirror. So I call it the mirror technique, and start like, brush her hair back, start kissing her neck, grabbing her ass, like turn around, start making out with her, and then just start having crazy sex with her. Ooh. And she just left before, that was 7 p.m. last night. She just left before the stream, so it was a good time.
oh my God.
So that's a long answer of what day game is. I just gave you an example of exactly what that's day game. It's the same day late from day game. And night game, everyone knows what night game is. Night game is like, that's the default mode for guys. That's how for decades, that's how guys have relied on getting women, going to bars, clubs, cold approaching girls, not cold approaching, but approaching girls in bars and clubs. It's the basic, it's basic as fuck. This podcast might have to move to porno. Yeah, might indeed. Yeah.
so Mac, one of the things that I do also, since we're talking about this is the dark side of being in the bedroom and actually getting the inner masculinity out. When I talk about dark side, I'm talking about being masculine in bed, not like noodle arm, can we go into this position like a little weak little like noodle bitch? No, I'm talking about like, you know what girls like? They like when you toss them around like a rag doll. Motherfucker, toss them around like a rag doll. Obviously, be safe. Don't take my comment as like tossing her out the window. Like Jesus Christ, chill, YouTube. I'm talking about when you're around a girl, especially if she's light and petite. Whoo-wee. Especially the girls that I see you posting on your stories. I always like holler at you every time. Like, damn, dude, good for you. Keep it up, bro. When you grab the girl and you just turn her around and she goes like that, she's like chuckling and it's a feminine chuckle. You're like, oh my God, this girl's just, whew, that's the best. And one of the things I like to do, Mac, is this. I have mirrors all over my bedroom. And what I will tell her to do is, okay, I have the choice. I could, if I'm, let's say, doing her from behind, I could have her look at my wall of my bedroom. Oh, cool, a wall, big freaking deal. Or I could have her look at the mirror, which is like, over there. And then I tell her, I like ragdoll her, throw it to the side and say, hey. And she's like, what? I like, let's say pick her up from the neck. I'll start choking her from behind, start whispering in her left ear and be like, I want you to look at that mirror right in front of you right there. You see that mirror? She's like, yeah. I'm like, are you looking? She's like, yeah. Then even choke her a little bit more. She's like, I'm looking. Like, that's what I thought. Now go back down. You push that girl down and you start doing her from behind. You put your hands like Sterling Cooper style, put her hands behind her hair, just pull it back. And bro, once you do that, oh my God, these girls are going to go nuts. What other guy is screwing them like we are? Nobody.
Yeah, man. You're definitely showing them your power. They get turned on a lot by that. Even just lifting them up like with effortlessly. You can pick them up and they know how strong you are. They get really turned on by it. If you can easily hold a girl up and make out with her and spanking her ass and grabbing her ass and like if you can really show them your strength, like where you're just easily able to like lift them out and they straddle you. You can like if you can like yesterday. This was like I actually like I lifted her up. Started like she was really petite. She was probably around 42 kilogram. Like I don't know, she was light and she was sexy, but. I lifted her up. She was wearing this little dress, and all I had to do was like take off the straps on the shoulder, and it kind of fell off. So, but she was straddling me, so I just with one hand like flicked off her dress while I have her lifted up and while we're making out.
My man.
With one arm I have her held up, and I let the dress just fall. Like I kind of just pull it down, and she was so like turned on like. She was so turned on and shocked, like I could tell, but I was just still making out with her at that point. But I know she was like she was like moaning and like I could tell no guy has probably ever done that to her, like by the way she's getting so turned on by it. If you can do that with a girl, just little things the girls get turned on by. Like if you're just like really like if you've been with a lot of girls, you should be able to open up those like the back of the bra, the bra by like just like flick it out. They know you're a fucking player when you can do that. Like you just like it's just open, right? They don't realize.
Dude, even some. This is what I love to do this. And if any woman is watching this right now, like this is some fire game from a guy who knows what he's doing. So what I'll purposely do, because girls like to tease us and they want to make us wait and all that nonsense. Guys like us, we don't wait. It's not because we do anything bad. It's because we just know ourselves so well. We know how to actually do seduction in a way that is helping her out and helping us out. So it's helping us out. So we don't worry about anything like that. So what I do is I tease the girl. She doesn't tease me. I tease her. So what I'll do is this. So let's just say she has both legs open, but not fully open, right? And there's no penetration, nothing has happened yet. But what I'll do is like I will literally put both my legs on top of like her, or like in between her leg, one of her legs. Let's see, the left leg or the right leg. So now she's wondering, when is this guy just gonna open me up all the way and just penetrate me? And I just tease them so bad, Mac. They hate it. And I'll like just kind of like bite their thighs a little bit, kind of just like trace my hand all over, about to get to the pee, but go around it. And she's like, God, mother. You piece of, that is game. That is sexual game right there, man. I wanted to actually make a quick comment. So Mr. Christian Batico, he's saying, Mac, how do you feel about gym approach? What advice would you give to men who are gym cells in order to get laid? Do you know what a gym cell is?
Yeah, I mean, it's the guys that just go to the gym and don't do any game. They just get they're all about getting built, but they don't take they don't use that to get laid. They think that gym cells. I think they think just going to the gym is going to get them laid. No, it's not. Like, it's not going to get you laid. Like, even if you're the most, like, the fucking hottest guy in the gym, and you're fat, you look great, and you're total Chad. It's it's not like, guys get it completely fucking twisted. They think, like, it's not in female nature for chicks to make the first move, or in any way, shape, or form. Any kind of chicks that do make the first move, they're fucking entering a masculine frame. They're not going to be the kind of chicks that you want to deal with. It's just not in their nature. You're at, like, anyway. Yeah, I do know what a gym cell is. So yeah, what would be my advice for gyms? I mean, I don't go to gyms. Like, I work out, I do calisthenics, but I treat it like anything else. It really depends. I mean, it depends on, like, how is that your, like, are you living in that gym? Is it a spot, like, is it a small spot where you don't, it's going to be real, like, you're going to make it real awkward if you start, doing approaches. There's a phrase we've all heard. No, the phrase "don't shit where you eat," kind of applies to, like, if you have a job and you don't want to, like, you don't want to mess up your environment, like, too badly. But sometimes it's just not, like, necessary. If it's, like, I always encourage guys to incorporate game into their lifestyle. So if you're going to the gym, obviously you want to incorporate doing cold approaches into that, because you're going to be spending a lot of time in the gym. But you want to kind of understand, it's up to you, really. Like, I mean, if you see a hot girl, but just don't overthink it. Try and make the cold approach, just, like, spark up some conversation. You don't need to be really, really direct. Just compliment them on their form or something. Start talking. Eventually just exchange the Instagram. See how, when you're kind of approaching girls, like, in a spot where you are regularly, like, and you don't really want to shit where you eat. You kind of, like, you gauge how interested they are. You kind of throw out the bait a little bit. You follow. First of all, you exchange the Instagram. That's a way to do it. Then you check. You see, are they watching all your stories? Are they checking your stories? If they're not checking any of your stories, they're not really that fucking interested. Things like that. You can gauge it. Sometimes you'll follow it. You'll exchange Instagram with a chick, and she won't even fucking follow you back. So just fucking unfollow her and play it like that in places where you're going to spend a lot of time, I would say. And we have to make the first move. But if it's your gym and that's where you always are, you don't want to be having some bitch saying that making things awkward for you. Yeah, that's.
Mac, I wanted to ask you about let's talk about how sex is a taboo for a lot of cultures. In the Western culture, it's a little bit more open. Our community have discussed how women are more sexually promiscuous. I don't necessarily have an issue with it. I just think for me, what's important is how is she treating me? How is she pleasing me? Right? I want to know I would like to know, why do you think that women are so scared of being sexual? Why are women so scared of being judged? Why can't women just be like us and just be sexual beings? And when they see us in the beginning, they're like, oh, look, this guy is, he's sexual. He's talking to me like I'm like, I can be comfortable with him. Why don't they just open up and be sexual like us?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I just think because men and women are completely different creatures. Well, we're the same species, but we're different. We're just completely different. We operate in different ways. I mean, as men, as a healthy man, you should, if you're getting enough sleep, you're getting enough exercise, you're eating well, you should be horny like 7 days a week. Like you should be like ready to go. Like if you're not, you might want to, you want to check what you're doing. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you working out enough? Are you eating well? Because you really should be. You should be turned on. Like that's the men should just be always ready to go. Women don't operate like that. Women just do not. Like they're not like they have to be turned on. Like they that's why you have to be strategic about how you know escalate with some of these girls, because sometimes these guys, you know, go on dates with girls, right? And they haven't even touched them. They have no game. They haven't even touched the girl, but yet they've somehow managed to get the girl back to their place, right? And the guys jump in for a kiss, and he hasn't escalated at all. Like he's just jumping in for a kiss, like completely cold. The girl isn't turned on at all. Like she's not turned on. Like, and it's like he's coming at it completely cold, and she's far more likely to reject it. She's like, oh, what? You know, like, because she's not turned on. Like she's really not turned on. That's why she's rejecting it. She's like too cold. Like he has no game. So he was in the restaurant. He should have been in the restaurant, like touching her leg and, you know, like touching her hand, you know, like caressing her soft hand, and like, you know, just that these kind of things will make her pussy tingle, will make her wet, you know, caressing her arm, you know, touching her hip, you know, even like, you know, even putting your hand on her ass, like slowly, like, man, a lot of anyway. My point is, these girls have to be turned on. So that's one of the things, you know, we just operate differently. And I think I've been with like hundreds and hundreds of chicks, and like the thing I've noticed is, like, there's times of the month where chicks will become hornier. Like, and girls will tell you this too. I've talked with countless girls, and I ask them questions, and you know, it's like girls will tell you themselves that they feel hornier at certain times of the month. Like it's almost like they go into heat. It's like ovulation. It's like it's some girls will correspond with their sex drive. So and some girls girls operate complete. Girls are complicated sexually, very complicated. Some girls can't experience orgasms. Like that's a fact. Like some girls are you know, more likely to be asexual, things like that, where they actually don't derive that much pleasure from sex, or they, you know. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. That
Awesome.
You know.
Well, so Mac, let me ask you this question, because there's a lot of guys in our community that we came from, they know about this information too, of the differences of men and women. But what about, let's get into more granular details. Let's just say I'm on a date. What would you, if I was your client, how would you advise me to go about this situation? I'm going to give you a scenario right now. So let's just say, for example, you have me. I'm on a date with a girl, and I believe the sexual escalation is going in a direction where it is like, you know, it's not like the most ballsy things that I'm saying, but let's just say I have my hand on her leg to establish touch, establish some rapport that, hey, I'm not here just to be your friend. I am sexually interested in you. I may put her hand on her arm. And then I say something along the lines of, let's just say my delivery is it is what it is, whatever I'm going to say. But let's just say my example would be, you know, she says, I love salad. I said, I love to eat salads too. And I'm like, what's your favorite in a salad? What's your favorite type of salad? Or what's your favorite type of salad? She's like, oh, I like this, the salmon Nikoi salad from this one restaurant. There's tomatoes, there's salmon, there's cucumbers. I stop her there, right, Max? So I stop her there and I say, oh, you like cucumbers, huh? And she's like, yeah, I do. Why are you asking that to me in a very weird way? Why are you doing that? That's the example. How would you handle that situation when the girl's trying to almost shame you, or almost kind of like tell you, why are you acting in such a weird way? Why are you being all sexual with me? I thought we're on a date. I thought we're just trying to get to know each other. How would you respond to that?
I mean, I have no idea, but it's you know, I would say, you know, I'd say I leave it to your imagination, and I don't know, I leave it to your it's something like, that's just something that came to my mind. I don't know. I mean, honestly, that's like a bad sign.
Mac, I ask you, sorry to interrupt, and I ask you this because I know there are guys, like I've dealt with this before, where I try to flirt and I try to be sexual and I get like kicked back. So that's the question. Is like, I just gave you an example so you to understand like what my example was. But the question is like, if you try to be sexual and she kind of like pushes back, like, why are you asking me that? Like, like that. That's the question.
I would say this. I will say this. For me, I as a rule of thumb, I you can flirt, but some girls might think that's too corny, saying stuff like that. It's like it might be a turn off for them. Um, as a rule of thumb, I try not to get like, I let my body language speak for itself. I try not to start talking about sex before on a date with a girl. Like a lot of time when that happens, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. So I tell guys, you really, it depends. Like it's not a, it's, but as a rule, I don't escalate verbally, before I smash a girl.
Okay.
I can, when I turn girls into plates and they start becoming regulars, that's when we can really get dirty and we start sexting and talking like that. But before you smash, you shouldn't. I don't think you should. You should, escalate verbally. Start talking about things like that. And think girls might probably think stuff like that is going to be corny. Let your body language speak for itself. They're going to pick up on it. You don't need to start. You don't need to start saying things like that. Unless it's in a jokey manner. If you're saying that, if you're saying like, so you're like, because she thinks you're going to be she thinks you're making fun of her. She's you're basically, you're going to be, she thinks, chicks, they're self-conscious. So she thinks, oh, he thinks I'm a slut, So that's why they're probably going to push back against that. But I mean, if you said it in a jokey manner, that's different. Like it's if you said it like trying to be like sleazy or something like that I wouldn't recommend that. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
just personal, and from experience, that's you're usually gonna, like, for example, if I started getting like verbally too sexual with the girl from yesterday, she wouldn't have came. I guarantee she would not have came back with me. She would have gotten too nervous, even though she might have wanted to. She was like, oh, I like this guy. I don't know why, but like they start overthinking the scenario then. They start getting nervous because they're like, oh shit, he's, maybe, I don't know, maybe I might not get turned on, or maybe it's going to be too much. So they kind of want it to be left to their imagination, If you make it too obvious verbally, it can be a turn off for them. That's what I've observed, like from a lot of experience, because I've made a lot of different mistakes myself, so I've learned this over time, a lot of experience, and I've learned as well, when girls start talking to me about sex, a lot of time it doesn't work out either, because it's almost like disrespectful. I've had girls bring up sex on dates with me, and it rarely ends up. I rarely end up smashing them. I don't know what it is, but they're being like cheeky, or they're trying to be a prick tease or something. But it's happened like quite a few times where I've acknowledged that there's a trend to it. Like there is something to it. If a girl starts like maybe saying something about her ex, or her her previous boyfriend, or or other dates she's been on Tinder, it's very disrespectful, first of all, and you should take it as disrespect, because from my experience, you're not even going to end up smashing those type of girls, because they're just like, you think about it, you're on a date with a girl and she's talking about other guys that she's fucked, or something like that. That's a very big red flag. And who cares about, you're just trying to smash, it doesn't matter. But it's insulting if this bitch is going to bring up sex and she's not even going to, you're not going to get any of it. So I don't want to talk bullshit. I let my body language speak. I'll escalate, and they're gonna know what I'm about. Like I don't need to verbalize. You just want to talk. You just want to joke around with them, make them comfortable, like have a good time with them, make them laugh, like not overthink the situation. You're trying to have a good time. You're trying to make them laugh. You're trying to talk about. And a lot of guys struggle with that. Like they struggle with, and it's so simple, but they struggle with it because a lot of very intelligent guys, like rationally minded guys, have trouble talking, shooting the shit, to be honest. Like they really do. Like they have trouble, like, just talking about food and like travel and stuff that chicks like to talk about, like food, travel, TV, like, just real basic shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
I don't think there's, yeah, I think your response was great. There's also different ways of, I think also being in Japan has kind of shown, because I think Japanese women are pretty conservative. They're not very open to talk about sex, like obviously right away, right? Not like a good majority of them, right?
Yeah, well, it's well, certainly like not before you smash. It can get really dirty like after they know what you're about and make them come, and they know you're not a fucking psychopath, and like they've been
Yeah,
to your house and you fucked them, and that's when you can open up the fucking you can start sexting, and then anything goes kind of thing once you've been there kind of thing.
absolutely. I've lost, for sure, man. I remember I've lost girls from actually whispering in their ears and talking kinky shit. But you know what? It's really funny because for me, here's the thing. I feel like once guys like us, like when we reach a point where we realize, okay, I've had enough first night lays. I know what works and what doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, I know there's a girl in line that will be waiting for me to whisper in her ear, or for me to do the way Mac the Day Gamer does, the way that Gary and Cam does. There are girls in line waiting to be banged by guys like us.
Right.
They're waiting.
That's the interesting thing about game. Like there's no one like blueprint. There's many different ways, and because every guy is different. Like every guy, like what will work for me might not work for someone else. The harsh reality of game is like it's like trying to be fully transparent. Is some guys can get away with more than what other guys can get away with. That's why MLD says money muscles game.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it is important to become the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does matter. It's not the only thing that matters, for sure. It's not, because we've already talked about gym cells. They're getting jacked. They're getting physically amazingly fit, but that doesn't get them laid. You know what I mean? That's not gonna it's not gonna be enough. Because it's like men are the visually driven creatures. Like men are more visually driven. Like we like when we see a woman, like it's like, oh my god, it just blows our mind if she's super hot, right? We're just like,
oh yeah,
mesmerized. It's like women don't operate at that level, right? They of course they see a hot, like a handsome tall guy, and they're like, oh my god, he's hot, but they're not like us. Like when we see we see a woman, like she's wearing this little tight little skirt, wearing these like 7-inch high heels. She's wearing, like, she's just like has this like fat ass, man, and it's like you can see it, and, oh man, it's like turn into animals, right?
Stop the madness! Stop the madness! Dude, I'm just like, keep going, brother. I love it.
It's just we're totally different. So, men need game. It's just like it's not enough, but if you can get, the more you increase yourself, the more you improve yourself in all different aspects, in physicality, fashion, your game. Money is the least important. It definitely helps, but money is the least important. Like it's, fashion, fitness, game. Money's a bonus. Money's like, it's just so you can operate, you can have a foundation. It is, don't get me wrong, it's definitely important. Like, but it's not going to get you laid. Like, I mean, you just having a lot of money is not going to get you laid. Like, I mean, you can pay for it, sure, but it's not going to. It goes on.
I'm so happy you brought that. You know why it doesn't matter? Why money doesn't matter for me, at least. Okay, I'll speak on behalf of myself. Okay, let's see. Where am I right now? Okay, I'm at my house. Okay, cool. I already have a bottle of wine from week before. Okay, I mean, usually the girl and I, we just need like half a bottle or even like one drink, just to say I'm drunk and I don't feel as bad for hooking up with a guy on the first date. Just kind of happened, right? All that nonsense that girls are saying, which is to protect themselves. Yep. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not judging them for that. But it's really funny. How much money did I spend? Well, it was definitely less than $200. Okay, I didn't wine and dine. It was less than $100. I did not take her to a hot air balloon ride for the first freaking date, and I did not take her to my exotic car museum on the first date. All I did was literally said, hey, come over to my place. And I gave her a tour of my apartment community or my townhouse community, which has like water everywhere. It's really beautiful, really scenic. That cost me literally only $15 for a bottle of wine at most. And
Right.
guys get baffled. They're like, wait, Cam, you have girls coming over your house as a first date? I'm like, yes.
Oh, no.
And
Yeah.
and wait, so you're telling me I don't have to wine and dine girls? No, you don't have to. And you know,
That's blue pill, man. It's
yep.
like guys have no idea, man. They have no idea they're getting fucked over. They have no idea what the reality is. Like, it's insane. Like, guys getting fucked over. They're getting ghosted after taking girls on 3 or 4 dates, and they're like, "Oh my god, I did everything right." This girl's getting bored, man. These girls are female nature is savage, man. They're savages. Like, they'll be like, "This guy's a pussy." Like, they won't say it. They'll never say that.
But in their head.
Friends, yeah, in their head, or they might tell their friend, their bestie or whatever. Oh, he's so nice. Oh, he's so nice. But I just like, I like whoever better. They'll go over to Chad's house after. And a lot of the time, the reality of the savage nature of dating in 2021 is, guys will take a girl on a date, like blue pill guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll take her out on a fancy dinner date, and the girl, it'll come to the end of the date. The guy will be a pussyfoot around it. The girl has already fucked the guy at that point, because she's already gotten what she wanted. She's like, he's taken her to a fancy spot. She's gotten her little photos for her Instagram of her fancy meal, and then she'll make her excuses, and she'll go over and fuck Tyrone after the meal. This sounds, that's just a meme. That's a joke. That doesn't really happen. That fucking does happen.
Oh yeah.
Come to, it really does happen. And it's like, once you see these things, you never unsee it.
Never. It's impossible. And you know what's really funny? To all the men that are watching this right now that don't know who we are, okay? Let me give you a quick scenario of what's going to happen. Guys like you, the average dude that doesn't know any of the information that we have, that's never been coached by Mac, the Day Gamer, before, or has not listened to my podcast. This is what's going to happen. You're going to take a girl to dinner. You're probably going to spend about $60 American, and or let's say about $50, $60 American. Or you might get a bottle of wine and bump it up to, let's say, and then you get dessert, you get appetizer. You ask her, would you like an appetizer? Which immediately goes to like $100 to $150. And then you're gonna be sitting across from her. Okay, this is how it's gonna go, Mac. Watch this. I'm gonna go on a freaking. I'm about to go hard right now, Mac. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. You gentlemen that are the average dude that doesn't have any game, you're gonna spend $150 on a girl. You're sitting across from her. You're not sitting side by side, right next to each other, so you can touch her, so you can play with her hair, so you can joke with her, more intimacy. You don't have that because you're sitting across from her like it's an interview. It's not man and woman. It's like, why are you applying for this job type vibe? And she's seen guys like you before. She's used to guys like you. She knows exactly what to expect. What do you like to do for fun? Where have you traveled before? And why, what are your 5-year goals? And what do you think about a family and all that other kind of crap? Then you're going to try to make a move on her at the parking lot. How many times have we heard these stories before, gentlemen, where you go to the parking lot, you walk her to the car, and she's thinking in her head, oh my God, this guy's going to try to attempt to kiss me. I already know it's going to happen because he's walking so close to me. He's nervous. He's kind of like noodle arms, like walking around. The way he has his arm on her hand or on her back, it's the small of her back is kind of like a noodle bitch, right? Like a little soft biscuit ass bitch, right? And then you look at her and she kind of, this is exactly what she's going to do. Okay, hold on. I have to take my headphones off for this. She doesn't even say give you a hug. Did you see that? She just immediately gets in the car and then she looks up at you like this. Oh yeah, another date would be great. No, tomorrow I'm not available, but I would totally hit you up. And then what she does is the best part, gentlemen. This is the best part. All right, ready for this? She texts guys like us. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Oh, are you free? Yeah, what's up? I just finished some errands right now. About to go home. You trying to come over and trying to get it in? Yeah, I'm down. I'll see you soon. With happy face. Then when she comes over, guys like Mac and I, we take our girls to the mirror. We tell them, how do you like this? And then we pull their hair. We'll spit in their mouth. We'll do some kinky ass freaking shit. All right, this is too much heat for YouTube. This is too much heat for the average dude. The average dude cannot do what we can do. Mac, that's exactly what's going to happen. We are the guys that the girls choose in the end.
And that's that's why I tell guys that's it's a good story, man. I like it, but it's fully what you said is exactly because we've been on those dates. How have we learned this? Like it's not like we just always knew this. The reason we've gotten to the level we've gotten to is because we've come through that. Like it's not we're just we've always known this. We've always been killers with women. No. We haven't. We learned this, and that's why we're savages. We're even more savage now because we learned from our mistakes. We've been through all that. That's happened to me before. Stuff like that's happened to me, and I've learned all that. I've gone on the dinner dates. I've been the guy that's taken girl on 3 dates only to get ghosted. I've done that, and you have to go through that if you want to be the best. Like if you want to be like a complete savage, because it's just you need to understand like female nature and what what really goes on, because if you go watching these Hollywood movies and all this fucking start watching CNN and all this bullshit mainstream media, they're going to tell you to do all that shit, take girl on 5 dates and wife up 35-year-old women and all this shit, strong, independent women and all this shit. No, like 21-year-old hotties. Like, listen, we want the young, sexy bitches, right? We don't take them on dinner dates, dude. That's another thing, because you shouldn't be taking a girl on a dinner date on the first date. And one point I really wanted to bring up is, like, if location is seriously important. Location, like, for example, this how I'll put it. Having a good location and like so game is better than having really good game and living in a shit location. That's the harsh reality. A lot of dating coaches don't even admit that. But I'm just fully transparent, and I just want tell the truth, because it really is. That's really how it is. Like you really want to get a good solid foundation, because honestly, like we were talking earlier about how guys can't believe you can get laid on the first date. Like you can get same fucking, not even, you can meet a girl. Like yesterday, I just met a girl fucking out, took her home within an hour. I'd say it was probably after about an hour by the time I started smashing. I was fucking this girl. She stayed all night, and she was hot, so like I let her stay. And guys don't realize this is possible. And this is like, if I lived even in a better location, I could have been fucking her within 20 minutes. Like it was like, just because I needed to build up more rapport. Like if you live in a downtown spot where there's access to shopping areas and cafes and restaurants, you can kill it. You can get same day lays constantly. If your game gets good enough. I know guys in Tokyo that they were like entirely on same day lays. And I don't rely entirely on them because my location, it's a good location, but I need to I get a lot of numbers and arrange dates. But if I lived in a better location, which I think next year I'm going to probably move to a more central location, I can get same day lays like 7 days a week, because I know what's up. Like I all I know is it's a numbers game, and that you need to, you just approach, you have your game skills, you know what to do. You just walk girls back to your house and you take them in and you have your plausible deniability and you smash, So location really is important. If you're in a small ass town and you're like, oh, how am I not getting laid? It's like, you're in a small ass town. Like you're not putting in numbers. Like I do boot camps in Tokyo, right? And one of the things that guys observe from getting coaching from me is that, what it actually takes to, be successful with cold approach. Like I think, oh, I just approach 10 girls and, and it's like that, if I don't get any, it's all over and I suck. No, you need to be a complete savage and be tenacious, because, a lot of guys don't realize what it actually takes. They think, they kind of get exhausted by, they're not used to it and it's a chore and they're not feeling comfortable approaching girls. So like doing 5 approaches is a big deal for them. But 5 approaches for me is like absolutely nothing. Like, I get 5 rejections like water off a duck's back. I don't give a shit. Like, it's absolutely nothing. And you have to understand that that's what it takes. Like, you have to have that attitude when you're actually doing cold approach, and it pays off. Like, it pays off. Like I said yesterday, I got rejected like 6 or 7 times, and then I started getting some traction. Like, I had like 3 girls, the girl with her boyfriend, and then another girl with her boyfriend, and another girl, the girl that I ended up taking home. I was tenacious. I was just in the mood to like fuck yes with the new girl. So just made it work.
I love it, man. And a same day late for me. I can't even remember the last time I had like a same day late. It was like a while ago, but I remember in Costa Rica, which was my most memorable one. Last day there, this girl worked at a Mexican restaurant in Costa Rica. It was just, Costa Rican operated, but the theme was Mexican. And the food was phenomenal. And I remember I was there one time and I saw the waitress or the bartender that I always had attraction for with the one for the whole month I was there. I just kind of talked to her. Nothing, again, I was just such a pussy ass little dude from before. I was scared to escalate. I was scared to, get rejected. So I didn't really do much about it. Then one day, dude, I see her at another restaurant and she's just by herself. And she's like, oh, hola, Cameron, ¿cómo estás? Like, hey, Cameron, how are you? Come over. Do you want to sit next to me? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to sit next to you. So she entered the masculine frame, like you mentioned, which I'm so happy you mentioned that. When girls, I'm going to say that in my freaking reels, bro. That's a good TikTok for you, by the way, or a good YouTube video for you to talk about. Girls approaching you is a masculine thing. So
right.
Good kudos for you on that. So for me, she entered the masculine frame by inviting me over to the table, which was still a kind gesture. There was nothing wrong with what she did. It was just a masculine thing that she did. So she invited me over. I sat there, and then we decided, okay, let's meet up later tonight. We met up later. She was talking to other guys. I was talking to other girls, vice versa, all that stuff. She was testing me to see if I would get jealous. She was testing me to see if I would like be her little puppy dog, like wherever she went, I went too. She was doing all that shit. I was still having fun. I was even DJing at the bar too, putting in the music on my YouTube and stuff, like YouTube account. I was just putting everything, and all these people were loving it in Costa Rica. Hip hop, all this shit. This is like 2013. So then we go to another bar, and then, bro, I remember I have a bicycle that I'm like that I'm cycling throughout this little town of the region of Guanacaste in Costa Rica. Bro, I'm on this bike, and guess who's sitting on the basket of my bike? This big, thick Latina, not big as in like overweight, but a thick Latina, the one that I invited me to see me tonight. She's sitting on my basket. This basket is so freaking little. Maybe one of her butt cheeks is on this freaking basket, but somehow we made it work. And and I'm cycling this girl, like two people, right? I'm like, and then finally, and I'm so drunk too. Finally, I get to the guest house where I'm staying at. Bro, we went at it. It was so much fun. We had a great time. That was the first time, like a first date, or same night lay that I had. And bro, I took her back to my place, and I remember, dude, and then we went to the beach, and she's like, venga conmigo en la playa, or like in Oceano, which is like, come with me into the ocean. And I looked at my watch and I'm like, dude, in 2 hours, I have to catch the bus to go to the airport. I can't miss this. I have work. My parents are waiting for me, when I get back and shit. I'm like, dude, I can't do this. I told her, like, if it was the day before, I'd be skinny dipping with you in the ocean. But the whole thing was just such a remarkable experience. So if anyone who's watching this has not experienced the same night late, it is so fun, not just for you as a man, but for her as well. And it's almost like, how did it even happen? It was a mixture of all these things happening,
Yeah, you just since you brought it, that's a great story, man. But since you brought up the skinny dipping thing, it reminded me of a story, just a quick story I'll tell, like very simple. But I was down in I think it was like my second year in Japan, but I was down in a city called Fukuoka, and it's near the ocean, near the beach. So I remember, I was down there for a few weeks, and I was strolling around the beach. It was like around, about 6 p.m. It wasn't fully dark. It was getting kind of dark. I saw this girl in a white bikini just sitting alone on the beach, and I just started chatting to her for a little bit, and eventually I said, let's go for a swim, and I just took her by the hand. We went into the ocean and we started. First of all, I initiated just by swimming, we're holding hands. Mm-hmm. Then just get closer and closer, and then eventually she's like straddling me, Like we're in the ocean. I've only known this girl like 10 or 15 less, probably around 10 or 15 minutes. Well, long story short, I ended up fucking I ended up smashing her in the ocean.
Oh yeah. Oh
like,
yeah.
like straight up, like I don't know this girl. Like I'm raw dogging a girl in the ocean. I'm not. This isn't like sexual advice. I don't like suggest raw dogging random bitches. Like, but it is what it is. I did it. But it was crazy. Like it was crazy. And this girl was, like she'd already told me she had a boyfriend, and I was still didn't stop her from letting me slip the dick in her. And yeah, that was great. That just reminded me. I had, just the story you said, like, that was a crazy one, man. That was really crazy.
Yeah, man.
But
Epic. I love the epic stories. So we have a question for Mr. Marcus, from Mr. Marcus. He's saying, Mac, I have a question. You said you used to do night game, or you said or I guess you still do night game. What do you do when you're at a bar or at a club to approach women that hang out in groups?
I mean, it really depends. I mean, it depends on who I'm with, or I really don't overthink it. I don't really strategize it too much. I mean, I try and wait for an opening, and wait till, like, at least I'm going to approach in a decent manner where I'm not like butting in. But I try and separate them. If a girl's in a big group, I'm not, I tend to try and, I don't know, maybe I'll just join the group and just start chatting, chatting with them, and try and get in with the group, and just try and have a good time. The thing about a night game is just, you're just trying to socialize and have a good time. But the one thing about night game these days is, like, getting numbers means fuck all. Like a night game, you got to smash in the same night. Like,
Agreed.
night, like, getting numbers in day game is much better than getting numbers with night game. Night game numbers mean fuck all. They mean really fuck all. It's better than nothing, but they don't mean that much. They're very yeah. Girls get so many numbers and contact. You kind of get lost in the pile. Like, girls kind of forget. Girls drink too much. They can't remember who you are, and it's a bunch of shit. You want to fuck them on the same night if you're gonna go for a night game. Or,
Agreed.
it's something I've realized, like, over the years. Let me be clear. I prefer day game to night game. Like, I'm not like, if you're trying to, like, get a big notch count, like, open up yourself, use dating apps, night game, day game. But for me, day game is king. But night game can be fun. The reason I like night game occasionally. I'm not one of these guys that lives for the weekends. I don't live that kind of bullshit lifestyle. Like, oh, it's the weekend, yay! Oh, if you, I don't want to live that miserable lifestyle where you're just, like, living for the weekend. And you're gonna be miserable. What are you doing other days of the week? This, you only get one life. Time is fucking valuable. It's the most valuable thing. That's why you don't let these bitches waste your time.
Or anyone, like a friend, like a friend who's crap, a friend who disrespects you, family who disrespects you. You can't let any of these people disrespect you. And even Marcus is agreeing with you that he prefers day game over night game. Mac, I wanted to ask you. Something. Now let's get into the juicy stuff right now. How do we, as a man? Okay, let's start with us first, and then we're going to go to the women. How does a guy that is watching our content right now, watching this interview, he wants to know? Okay, we talked about how so highly of ourselves, how we do this, and how we're able to do that, and we have this privileged information. How can the average guy, after watching this interview, make some actionable steps to be like us, to be embracing the dark side and getting these girls to, getting them to just be like, what is it about this guy how does he get it? So what would your advice to someone who needs help on this?
It really depends. Like, it really depends on the guy. You kind of almost need to see the guy before you can give advice, because, like I said earlier, like, the advice you give to, it's like exercise advice, for like an obese person to, like, someone who's skinny. Like, they don't the same kind of advice, the same kind of dieting plan, the same exercise plan would be completely different. You're not going to tell like a morbidly obese person to do sit-ups, right? It's pointless. No, you need to fucking lose that fat. It's a pointless thing to do sit-ups when you're morbidly obese, right? But it's the same thing. Kind of thing applies to games. So, getting with women, it depends on your situation. But what kind of advice would I give? Like,
I guess internally, like what could, like, for example, I created a reel recently, an Instagram reel, where I said, if you want to be talking dirty to women, remove any shame that you have about sex.
Right.
Be your sexual self. And like Sterling Cooper says, what does he say? He's like, be the, it's not just pervert. He's like, be the selfish pervert, but not pervert in a way that is uncalibrated, in the way that society depicts it, which is like somebody who offends women. Yeah.
Uncalibrated is the key point there. It's a very good, spot on, pretty much. Like, you need to lose your inhibitions. You need to lose your sexual inhibitions, but you obviously need to be calibrated as well, not in the way that society depicts being a pervert, but be a calibrated pervert where you're socially calibrated, and you understand what's appropriate, what's not appropriate in certain situations. But honestly, behind closed doors, you need to like really lose all your inhibitions. Like right now, it's almost hard for me to remember what it was like, but I know I did have inhibitions. Like obviously when I first started, everyone does when they first start having sex, they're nervous about it. Some guys even suffer from performance anxiety because they're so nervous about the whole thing. And why are they suffering from performance anxiety? Because they're overthinking the situation. They're overthinking. They're not being selfish enough. They're thinking about the person. Personally, if it's not physical, when guys suffer from performance anxiety, they're not able to get excited, they're not able to get an erection, it's because they're not being selfish enough. That's their problem. Like they need to be. They're thinking about the other person too much. They're worried about what the other person is thinking. That's a massive turnoff for women. That is, women get a lot of women get very turned on by pleasuring men. That actually turns them on. That is a thing that is something that I've learned from being with so many women, is that they get pleasure from us getting pleasure from their bodies. So, you just got to indulge into your kinks, into your fantasies. And as long as they're receptive about it, and 9 out of 10 times they will be. Obviously, if a girl is telling you no and like it hurts or she doesn't like it, obviously you don't continue doing it. But if you're getting off to it and you're really, enjoying it, chances are she's going to be enjoying it too. Like that's just from what I've learned, So I have absolutely no inhibitions in the bedroom anymore. I just love indulging in, female bodies. Just fucking, just delicious, hot, sexy females. Woo! And it's a handicap when you're letting your inhibitions get in the way of your pleasure. That's a big issue for I think for a lot of guys. They think that they're going to be judged, or the girl's going to think he's weird and she's going to leave. And like I said, like the vast majority of times, if you're having a good time and you're like really involved in it and clearly enjoying it, the girl is most likely going to be really getting off to it too. And the worst thing for a girl is if a guy is nervous and not taking a lead and not enjoying her body and enjoying her. Girls will be very nervous. It'll make them nervous. It'll turn them off. They'll want to leave. They'll want to stop. They want to stop engaging in the sexual activity. So I would say, guys, become comfortable with what you want to do. Whatever kind of, we all have different kind of fetishes, kinks, fantasies, become comfortable with it. Like, as long as it's not fucking illegal or fucking, basically
Mac,
as long as it's not illegal.
Mac, how much of a disservice does a man do to himself? This is a rhetorical question. Like, the answer to this. How much of a disservice does a man do to himself when he does not explore his sexual fetishes. He doesn't get into his kinky self. So the woman can have fun. Do you like how? What a loss of life. You're not even centered. I talk about being centered. Mac, I always talk about being centered on my stories, on a video I made about being centered and not blaming women for your shortcomings. I talk about being centered. So if you want to be centered, you got to be okay with being sexual. You have to be okay with having erections. And if a girl points it out, you got to be like, oh, so you're going to do something about it then. You know? And then she's like, oh, okay, finally a smart motherfucker that knows what he's talking about, that knows how to treat me like a woman, that knows how to throw me like a rag doll. And here's one thing, Mac, I wanted to mention. We talk about approaching women in the stream. We also talked about being in the bedroom with these women, right? One thing that has helped me grow a lot and helped me become more confident and being more centered with myself, thanks to you, MLD, and everybody else, and with my own creativity and my own mindset that I've developed, thanks to all you guys, is that I like to put women through a story. I am a master storyteller. I'm an expert at dirty talking, and women love me for it. And they will save audios, and they will literally listen to it again and again. I get these text messages where like, I just want to hear the sound of your voice. Can you please send me something sexual? I promise I won't bother you. I know you're at work, but can you please send me something sexual? Okay. So what happens is when I see a girl in person, my thing is, okay, how is this girl going to fit into my story? Not how am I going to fit into her story? How much is she going to fit into my story? Is she congruent to the way I am, or is it going to be like? Is it going to be like this, or is it going to be like friction all the time? No, I don't have time for any of that shit. I know myself. I listen. First date lays, game over. Do I need a wine dine? No. So these girls immediately know that I'm a player. They know that I got it down. So now let's just say we got to the bedroom. I'm exploring myself as a person. I'm exploring myself as a human being, being connected, the energy is just on point. And the reason why it's on point is because I'm being that's the selfish pervert that Sterling blessed us with this information that it's okay to have sex the way you want to have sex, as long as the girl is, obviously consents to it. Obviously, she's not getting hurt by the situation and like saying, "Ow, stop," and you're, as long as you're not being weird and creepy and abusive towards her, right? These girls will love you to do anything. They will literally lick any part of your body. They will suck any part of your body. They will literally be on you. They'll do you in the balcony. They'll do you anywhere you want, anywhere in the world you want. You can do it. And Mac, what I like to do is while I'm in this situation where I'm in the bedroom with the girl, oh my God, dude, I'm just telling her, like, I have this whole thing called Welcome to Hell. For any girl that's lucky to have it, I got to tell you behind the scenes. I don't want to share it on air, but with Welcome to Hell that I've created for these women, what I'm doing is I incorporate a little bit of choking, incorporate a little bit of storytelling, and I tell them, welcome to my world. And once I do that, these girls are hard drops. And I've had girls before, like, they're like, why did you do this to me? Now and then I tell them this, and they're like so like amazed about what happened. And throughout the process, in the positions, Mac, that I'm hooking up with them, that I'm like fucking them and stuff, I talk to them too. Not the whole time where I'm just like narrating the situation, but like I'll say, how do you like it? Or I love this. And then she'll be like, I love it too. Be like, tell it like you mean it, right? So it's storytelling. It's engaging. It's not just like, it's actually something. You're doing something about it. And then this is what I always do. These girls are tainted by us forever, Mac. These girls are so screwed. We're like literally we're the RP wet dream of what guys talk about of alpha widowing girls. So after I'm done with them, I'll look at them and I'll say, hey, it was fun. And she's like, yeah, really, I'm so wet just thinking about it right now. And I'm like, by the way, you know how fucked you are right now, right? And she's like, what do you mean? I got fucked by you? Like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how fucked you are in life right now. That now you've met me and you've screwed me. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Cameron? I'm like, listen, has any man ever fucked you the way I've ever fucked you? And she's like, no. Like, I know. And what other guy can be so honest with you, authentic, tell you like it is, and treat you like a woman? Where else are you going to find that? I don't know. It's kind of hard, Cameron. Yeah, that's what I thought. I go down and back on your knees and suck this freaking. Come on, man. Who's got that energy, baby? And then these girls, they're screwed, Mac. I tell them, like, your standards are so high now. right? Your sexual standards are so goddamn high. Sure, you're gonna go to the beta male dude who's gonna provide for you and do all these other things. Like me and Mac, we can provide. We can provide security to girls. We just choose not to right now because I don't know about Mac's reason, but for me, I haven't. I'm just not there yet mentally. I'm not ready to commit to just one person just yet, right? But for me, dude, once these girls like hear that shit, they're like, "You motherfucker." I'm like, that's what I told you. I tainted your mind. You cannot unsee what you just saw. What you felt, you're gonna crave it every day of your freaking life now. And then when you go to your husband, let's just say this relationship ends or this casual fling ends, you're gonna think about me the whole goddamn time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's like, yeah, it's just personally, yeah, I get off, living the player lifestyle is all about like the abundance. And personally, I get off to the fact that, some of these girls know that I'm a player. They know that I'm banging other girls. I don't rub it in their faces, but they know about it. Sometimes they ask about it. I don't deny it, and they still come back for more. Why? Mm-hmm. Because they know they know what I'm about. They know that when they come to me, when we have sex, it's going to be filthy, dirty, perverted, hot sex. And there's this kind of like, I don't know, there's something about it being, from some corners of, the alpha like manosphere or something, like, oh, you can't do this, or you can't eat a girl's pussy, or you can't do any of that. It's like, oh, you're a beta male if you eat pussy. It's like, I feel sorry for guys like that. I feel like, man, if you've never like, man, when I eat a girl's pussy, I'm not eating it for her pleasure. I'm eating it because that looks fucking delicious. There's times I've hooked up
and for girls. You.
Yeah, there's times I've hooked up with girls and I've not eaten it. I've not wanted to eat it because it just doesn't look great, or it doesn't, right. Pussies vary. Just like pussies. There's a lot of different kinds of pussies. Trust
Absolutely.
me.
100%.
And some pussies are so perfect and look so delicious that there's no way I'm not gonna eat it. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. Guys just get caught up in, if I do that, I'm gonna be a beta male. And it's like, God, I feel sorry for guys like that. I really do. Like, I mean, a girl is just like, hot, sexy girl is just like a delicious, something delicious for me. I'm like, it's like, I'll just turn into an animal. It's like, I'm not gonna be like, if I eat her pussy, she's gonna think I'm a beta male. And no, man, like, just enjoy, like, do what you want to do. It goes back to doing what you want to do in the bedroom, and not like, if I do this, I'm gonna lose frame, and she's gonna think, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna lose my masculine frame if I eat her pussy. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, it's just. Like, what is wrong with you?
Mac, these red pill absolutes are such crock of shit. Like, you must do this or this will happen. And here's another thing. What guys don't understand, Mac, I gotta go full screen on this. Like, what people don't understand, that in the RP space or in general, any kind of dating advice, it's all context. So if you like going down on a girl, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a beta male. Now, let's talk context. Okay, you buy her dinner. You buy her all her groceries, you shop for her, you do all these things. She doesn't pay for you. She doesn't invest in you. It's just you simping towards her. And wherever she goes, you go with her, right? Like a puppy dog. Like puppy dog go wherever she goes, right? This girl's horny. You know what she tells you to do? For some reason, she's feeling like she needs to get touched by some guy, and you're the closest thing to her because you're right by her side, right? So what's she going to do? Say, after making you wait for 1 month of not having sex with her, she's still not going to fuck you. So this is what's going to happen. She's gonna be so horny. She's gonna say, hey, listen, can you like finger me or some shit like that? Whatever. Let's just say she's down for you to do that. Now, I don't know how realistic this is, but like, it's all context. She will make you eat her pussy because you're such a bitch about it, and you won't tell her to suck your dick. You won't tell her to do any of these kind of things. So she's gonna make you eat her pussy, and then you're gonna try to go and she's like, no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We still gotta work a little bit. We gotta inch our way into it. I just want you to have it. Just to taste it a little bit, but she got full on pleasure. You probably sucked so bad at it that you didn't even make her come. You didn't do anything kinky with it. You didn't kind of like do a little bit of this. You didn't go a little bit of that. You didn't do anything. You didn't bite her thighs or whatever. I mean, I don't even know how realistic that example is, but again, it's all context.
I gotta say,
Mhm.
I've never. Sorry. Continue. Yeah, continue. Wait, finish. Yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's all context. Like, guys will say in these red pill bullshit absolutes, like, dude, again, it's not okay. Here's the thing: if my girlfriend or my girl or any girl I'm seeing is like needs me to help her tie her shoes, right? Because like whatever, she wants me to tie her shoes for her. I don't mind tying her shoes. I mean, look, the whole time I'm an alpha male the whole time. If I want to get on these and I'm like, wow, you look so pretty. Let me help you out with that. Let me help you with those little boots that like strap around your legs and shit, like your nice, thick, juicy legs. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rub my hand around those nice, soft, lotion legs. I'm going to squeeze them and look up at her and be like, damn, how nice would it be if I just ate your pussy right now? She's like, you wouldn't do it. Like, oh, you want to make a bet? And just fucking just start eating her out from behind. And I have a mirror right there. Why don't you go over there and look at that cute little dress you have on and want to eat you out from behind? Huh? What kind of game? See, that's what I'm saying. These red pill absolutes is such nonsense. Go ahead with what you're going to say, my man.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I can't remember what the point was, but it was something. I guess it was something along the lines of eating pussy. But I mean, yeah, it's just these absolutes. They're kind of garbage. I mean, it's like I was gonna say, like, I mean, just the point you said. I mean, eating pussy is almost. It's like it's all the example you gave of like eating pussy, a girl making you eat her pussy and not letting you fuck. I mean that's never ever happened to me ever. Like in my scenario, it's kind of unrealistic because even eating a pussy it's almost dirtier than it is dirty. It's kinkier than almost fucking a pussy. Eating a girl's pussy is it's like it's more like perverted than like fucking a pussy.
Yep.
Because
yep.
You kind of. But that's just it's funny. That just came to my mind. Like it's if a girl did that, you'd be like, what the fuck? I mean, it was just. I mean, But the thing is, I mean, you take charge. I mean, to be quite honest, there are guys out there that might even get off to that. I mean, it's like, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's like behind closed doors, just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yes.
I mean, you like a girl fucking telling you to eat her pussy, then yeah, whatever. As long as you keep your, you're not a bitch outside, the bedroom, like, But I personally, I don't think eating pussy is beta in any way, shape, or form. I think it's even, like it's more animalistic. Like you're eating, like, you're like a lion. You're like like that's my dinner. Like like I said, when I do, it's like it's for my place, like, boom, like fucking flip the bitch over, like either out from behind, like.
Mac, this is so important. The thing is, none of the girls, I can put up my money on it. Maybe let's say once in a while this will happen, and it can happen to me. I'm not some freaking sex god, Super Saiyan level 9,000 or something. But like for me, I mean, I'm pretty damn good at it. But I'll tell you this, Mac, you and me, we don't hear this from the girls that we hook up with, the girls that were in our bedrooms, right? They don't say, okay, now eat my pussy. Okay, now flip me over. Hold up. We are throwing you around like a rag doll. We're the ones telling you get on your knees like a good girl, okay? We're telling you, oh, you've been naughty lately? How about I put you in your favorite position? What's that position you like? Is it the one where I just move you like this? And she's like, yes. And you're like, oh, and then I move you like that? She's like, yes. Tease, bro. We're the ones that's leading the charge. Us right here. Us grand males right over here. And this freaking, the other side, this handsome devil over here are the ones that leads the charge. We're the ones that make it happen. And these girls don't boss us around in bed. And the moment, oh my God, I gotta spit some game on this really, really quickly on this. Guys, if you're hooking up with a girl, and this is based on what Mac was saying also with the whole masculine frame thing. Bro, if let's just say the girl's on top of me right now, right? And I want to like get up close to her and I want to like, lick her titty or I want to kiss her lips or something like that because it's what I want to do, right? If I'm in the middle of it, if I go up and she pushes me back down, no. Immediately, whoop, immediately that's happening. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop fucking her. It just, what I'll do is I'll pull it out and I'll start, whispering in her like, oh, you thought you could be a little aggressive. Are you trying to be a man right now? You're trying to be a man? You're trying to challenge my authority? And she's like, no, I just, no, shut the fuck up. You know what you want. Right now, listen to what daddy has to say. Okay, damn, this is too uncensored, man. Oh my God. I think I'm going to get kicked off YouTube already.
It's all good. But yeah, no, man, like it's, whatever I'm doing in sex is usually, it's going to be what I want to do. Like I'm not doing it like just for like, obviously I want them to get pleasure, of course. I want
Yes.
them to enjoy
Yes.
it. I get off to them getting pleasure, but I'm not, in a way, I'm not doing it for their pleasure. It just, they get pleasure because I'm indulging in it so much and I'm enjoying their body and it works. We like connect and we're going at each other. But one of the biggest turnoffs for me is when like, they have some like maybe some complex, or they're like shy about something, and they forbid it, or they say don't do that, don't touch me there. Or, that's a big turnoff for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously it's just, sometimes you're just not, there's girls that you're not going to be compatible with. Like there's
Correct.
girls that will have told me before, oh, I don't like that. And it's a big turnoff for me because I'm doing it because I like doing it. Whatever I'm doing in the bedroom is because it's getting me off. Like I enjoy it. So when a girl says, "Oh, don't do that," that's a big turnoff. So
And there's girls in line, Mac, and there's girls in line that will do it for you. That's the thing. You already know in the back of your mind, this girl's she doesn't want me to put it in her butt. Okay, fine. Yeah, sure. We can end it right there, or you finish the way you want to finish. And then you call the next girl when that other chick leaves, and you're like, hey, listen, I want to see you tomorrow night, and I can't wait to sticking it back inside. She's like, oh, daddy, please. Or a new girl that you meet, and you say, hey, you like it from behind, don't you? And she's like, how about all holes? And she's like, oh, fuck yeah, that sounds pretty good. Because we know we're going to get it. We have so much past experiences of success. We know the barometer. We know the barometer of success. We know when a girl is playing us, and we know a girl that's on the Mac the Day Gamer team and who's on the Grand Cam team.
Right. Yeah, man. There's gonna be girls that you have like a ferocious, like how do you call it? You just have a ferocious kind of connection with them. The chemistry will just be on fire. Like the taste, the smell, the feel, everything will be like, you'll just want to, you'll almost want to consume them. Like you feel like an animal. Like you enjoy their smell, their taste, like really animalistic kind of perverted stuff. And that's when the sex is really fired. Like that's when you really have it, when you enjoy the girl's taste, like when you're kissing her, like you're like almost like you don't even care, you're just swallowing, like it's dirty as fuck, like, but you're like you're eating her pussy or swallowing her pussy juice. It's just like you're really consuming it. And you're just like, when you fuck, like you're pounding, you're consistently, like your erection is like fucking hard as fuck. Like you can bang them multiple times. Like you don't have good compatibility when like it's kind of, maybe you don't like their smell, their body odor is it's just a little bit off. You fuck them once, you're not getting that second, you're not ready to go for that second round too soon. Like the girl last night, I fucked her 5 times, like boom, 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 like 5 times. Very good compatibility. That's like, it was good. Like I'm sure I'm gonna see her again, but just because compatibility was so good. There's sometimes when I meet a girl, a gamer, she looks sexy, I think she's my type. When we both get naked and I get it, we get into the sex. It's sex. It's gonna be good. Like, but there's not that there's not that like really connectivity, that like chemical compatibility, and that's fine. And sometimes those girls fall off. But it's really good. It's really nice when you get those girls and they're just like, they're fucking just delicious. Like you just consume them, you lick, you taste them everywhere, and that you just have this really fiery hot sex. Like it's like really insane. Like, but yeah, it's wild, man. It's just the player lifestyle. I wouldn't want to give it up, man. I wouldn't want. So guys are, we get criticism. I get criticisms like off guys with their fat pig girlfriends and their shitty relationships, and they're like, oh, but you're gonna get bored of this lifestyle, and you're gonna get, but you don't have any real connection. And it's like, fuck, man, I'm 32. I have no desire to give this up anytime soon. We're just indulging in like our male objective, we're just being men. Like we're just being like fucking what all men around the world at the base level want to live this lifestyle, and a lot of guys are just too cowardly to live it. Like it's just, we're just following our male nature, and I'm entirely happy with it. Like I don't have any like trauma, like, or like I'm lonely, or I have these. No, I'm loving life. Like I'm having a great life. Like there's no, I don't have any issues. You're chasing after sex because you have some traumas. No, it's fucking brilliant. I love it.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
or Mac, us guys were scared of strong, independent women.
Oh man, jeez. I mean, yeah,
We're not
we
against, and I'm not against any woman, by the way. I just want to clarify. I'm not against any woman getting her bag. I'm not against any woman having a job. I'm not
no,
against any woman. Yeah, we're none of us are. I want to, this is just like a joke that like women will say like, well, you don't want to settle down because you're scared of a strong woman. No, we're
you're
not. And
just
I'm first. And what's a strong woman? Are you talking about physically strong, or are you talking about like her barking orders at me in my own house? Fuck that. My women that are coming, they're soft, they're feminine, they're graceful, and they're my little rag doll that I throw around, and they fucking love it. Because I see females posting memes about I want to be thrown around like rag dolls. I've seen it before. I've seen that shit. Come on, these girls know they want
dude.
it, and this is animalistic, like you said, bro. I'm not even joking, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is so funny. It's so coincidental. When I've said that before, like recently, I've mentioned, I'm just like damn, this is like in my head. I'm just thinking to myself like, this is so fucking animalistic. Like we're going back to our roots. This is like human evolution right here. You know what I mean? And now we have information teaching us how to be more sexual, different positions. Like, dude, listen, the more flexible the girl is, we're gonna be doing. I don't even need to look at the Karma Sutra. I just move around and do something from different from the side. I'll like her legs are going all the way up to her, to my bed sheets. I'll do anything, man. You know?
Dude, I mean, yeah. Do you ever get this one from another criticism? He's like, "Oh, you're not man enough to get with a woman your own age." Like
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
because
I've been shamed.
hot. I smash. I'm open to smashing like older, girls in their late 20s or early 30s. But I really want to be Like I really want to be. I'm aiming for the hot 21-year-olds, like even 18-year-olds.
Yep.
It's funny, like, oh, you're not man enough to get with a woman, you're a strong woman your own age. You're a boy, you have Peter Pan syndrome. You've all these issues. No, I just like fucking sexy, hot, we evolved as men to want these like fertile, sexy, like soft, supple, like nice skin, and like young girls in their early 20s, man, like man, nothing beats like these women, like their value is in their youth, really. Like they're in the sexual marketplace. Oh, you're a misogynist. Oh, you hate women. No, I'm talking about the sexual marketplace. You can go and get your bag. We're talking about sex here. We're talking about dating. We're not talking, women can be valuable. They can go and get their bag. They can go and get their career. That's different. We're talking about the sexual marketplace. We're talking about like relationships. We're talking about sex. I want the young hotties, man. Like that's what all men want if they're open. Like the studies are clear. Like men throughout all ages, you want girls in their early 20s. Like, and there's no shame in it. It's just nature. Nature is not like nature is amoral.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I love
not
that. Damn, that was solid. Ooh,
yeah, man,
nature is amoral, man.
dude. Like it is what it is. Like I mean, they're like, oh, you hate women. No, I'm just real. I'm just a realist, and I'm just not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to suit your dumbass agenda. It's so funny. Just even looking back when just back when I was super blue pill. I mean, even when I was 21, I was like surrounded by such blue pill guys, and they would be like, oh, you're 21, so you might, should you really be hooking up with an 18-year-old? She's a bit young. And it's like so blue pill, man. God damn. Like, can you imagine thinking like that? Man, I have no problem smashing an 18-year-old now. I have done it like plenty of times. And it's been amazing.
It's fun. It's exciting. It's fun and exciting because she hasn't been with as many guys as, let's say, a 28-year-old has or a 31-year-old has, for example, right? And it's funny, Mac. Like I've been shamed about it before. Like I literally, I have family members like cousins that are young and stuff, and I always say like, hey, your friend looks cute. And like, oh my God, Cameron, pick on somebody like go see somebody that's your age or whatever. And I know where they're coming from. I get it. I understand. But the reality of the situation is like, hey, listen, attraction, as long as it's legal, it doesn't have any like borders. Like as long as it's legal, as long as she's over 18 in America, you're okay. You can hook up with her. In society, society says like the law says it's okay, but society can be like, well, you do this, you do that. Well, shut the fuck up. How about I do whatever the fuck I want? I'll stick my dick in whatever the fuck I want to. Okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, like about a couple of months ago, I hooked up with an 18-year-old, and interestingly enough, I'm just interaction on the street, just walking by her. She was with a bunch of friends, just quickly exchanging Instagram. She gave some IOIs. So I turned around, said, "Hey, what's up? Give me your Instagram." Like it lasted probably less than 2 minutes, definitely less than 2 minutes, just in and out. Anyway, DM'd her. She was receptive. Arranged a date. She came to my area, took her straight, didn't go on a coffee date, nothing, just straight back to my place, smashed her like 3 times in a row, 18 years old, like super hot. And turns out this girl, like, after the second time I smashed her, I was like, for some reason I just said, do you have a boyfriend or what? And she said, yeah, she's a boyfriend. And, I checked out her Instagram. And interesting, her boyfriend, like he had a blue check mark. He's a professional soccer player in Japan, and it just blew my mind. It was like, wow, this guy was like objectively, I would say, better looking than me. Like he was taller than me, and he had like over like 10,000, like something like 12 blue check mark, 12,000 followers, professional soccer player. Like it blew my mind. It's like, wow, like, and my Instagram is like, it's not like. It's on private. I have a private Instagram just for getting like, girls' Instagrams, and it's not like Mac the Day Gamer one. It's a separate one, and it's just it blew my mind. It was really kind of eye opening. It was like, wow, it's a wild game. Like sometimes even just having if they like you enough, if they think you look hot enough, like so. I read there's this piece Chateau Artiste wrote about, have you heard about that before? You check it out anyway, but it's called The Difficulty of Dating Girls by Age Bracket. You can, if you Google search that, it should come up. But sometimes it can be easier to smash 18 to 21-year-olds than it is, because they're fresher to the game. They're kind of just wanting to explore sex. They haven't fully become, realize their full potential in terms of like, they're new to the game basically. So they're just exploring sex and they're enjoying sex. Believe you me, 18-year-old girls are absolutely having a lot of sex, but they're in that phase where they're just whoring themselves out and fucking a lot. So they can be easier to fuck. Once a girl gets to 21, that's when the obnoxiousness, that's when the little bit of the I'm a hot bitch kind of attitude can come, So dating girls, it really does. You kind of have to approach different age groups in a different way, so it's just interesting. It just that just came to mind. But
Mac,
it's a wild game, man. I love it.
Mac, now so do I, brother. So do I. The one thing I want another segment I wanted to jump into is this. And we'll close it off after the segment, and I'll let you know what's the last question. But for this first question, I wanted to ask you. Now we're going to talk about the female in terms of how to get her inner kinky side out of her. Right? What do you recommend? I know it's a long laundry list of things to do. If you could just kind of summarize it the best way possible for guys who are just tuning in right now, guys who are unfamiliar with you. What can the average guy do, the blue pill dude, do to get this girl to be more kinky, even the first time they're having sex? Don't have to wait a month. Don't have to wait for a magazine to come up where it's 99 ways to please your woman. Like, how does he just do it himself?
Okay, so I mean, it's up to the guy to lead in the bedroom. So you can't be expecting a girl to be more kinky. It's more like, how are you going to get her to follow your lead? It's like, it's up. As guys, we're the ones that, kind of lead them, tell them, lead them in the bedroom, get them to do different things, So basically, whatever you want to do, you kind of just like, you guide them in that direction. If you want a girl to sit on your face, you lie down on the bed, you grab her and you like sit her up on your face and you eat her out. Like you lead her in different ways. If you want her to suck her dick, you just you follow what you want to do and you don't hesitate to do it. So as guys, we can't be expecting women to just like start taking the lead or start being more kinky. It's like we tell them to do this, that, and the other, we tell them what to wear, we tell them, basically we have to tell them what to do and take the lead, and they will follow along if they're into you, if they're turned on by you enough, and they like you enough, they're going to comply. And that's the simplest way I can put it, because we all have different kinks, like I said. So I have different, we all have different sex positions that we like, different things. So it's like, what I like doing might not be to the taste of what another guy likes to do. So it's like it goes back to the point of losing your inhibitions, doing what you like to do, exploring your fetishes, because we all have different fetishes,
So is any act of, and we'll wrap it up with this question, is any act of like anything, like spitting in her mouth or choking her, slapping her face? Of course, guys, everyone chill the fuck out. We're talking about sex and she's enjoying it, consensual. Let's not get into anything else. When we get to that point, right, and any of those kind of sexual acts, can that work with, would you say it can work with any girl? Obviously it being consensual. Well, not like you're going to ask her, hey, can I slap you in the face? But it's like, if she didn't like it, you stop, obviously. Or you did very uncalibrated or very strange and creepy. But can anything, like, again, if a guy, let's just say, loves to lick toes, or he likes his toes to be licked or some shit like that, but he's very scared of bringing it up to the girl, right? What can a guy do to just, again, lose that inhibition, that it's, hey, it's okay, relax, it's fine, we're animals after all. It's not a big freaking deal. In the end, none of this shit matters anyway. We're all going to die one day. So I know that's like one way of looking at it, but a lot of guys are just, that doesn't help them though. What would you say for those guys, how to help them out?
Okay. So, it's, I get it. It's easy for me to say, oh yeah, you lose your inhibitions and enjoy doing it. But, when it comes down to it, it's more about, just remember that when you're holding back in the bedroom, even if you think you're hiding it, it's gonna come across like it's gonna come across in the tension in the air, and it's gonna be anti-sexual. It's gonna turn the girl off. So if you have some kink, you kind of just like gotta explore it and start doing it, and just it's about making that bold move and just start, indulging in it. And the more you do it, the braver you're going to become. Like you're going to get more, you're going to get bolder about it, and you're going to get more confident about doing it. And that's what it really boils down to, is about, like, it's the same with cold approach. Like if you start off from zero, you've never done cold approach before, you're going to suck at it, and you're going to be nervous, and you're going to be like, you're probably going to fail the first few times, and then you'll eventually get better at it. It's the same thing in a bedroom. Like maybe you're not like congruent with maybe you do something, I don't know, let's say you want a girl to like sit on your face, like you want it to just like fucking, you want to lie down there to fucking sit on your face,
yeah, like, baby.
And you lie down in the bed, and you're kind of like, you're grabbing her, and she's like, what are you doing? And you're like, I just want you to, you're kind of not like, you're not taking the bull by the horns. You're being like nervous about it. Yes. And then that's going to come across to her, and she's going to be like, oh no, she's going to be nervous. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Like Japanese girls say hajikashi, it means I'm embarrassed. Like, it's like, and it's like, that doesn't mean they don't want to do it, but that just means you're not really like, when they says, if you don't confidently like just grab them and like put them on your face, they're gonna be like, they're gonna try and like back out of it if you're not fully committed to it, right? That's what I'm saying. Like you have to be fully committed to it, and then they're gonna get, oh my god, he's getting really, they're gonna look at your dick, and they're gonna get turned on by it, that you're like, they're gonna be, oh my god, he really does like this, he loves my pussy, he loves my ass. And she's gonna be like involved in it. Then she's gonna like forget about, even if she was embarrassed at the start, she's gonna be getting off to it. Then like it's just gonna be like, it's gonna snowball and just turn into this crazy sexual act. And does that explain? Is that a good example?
Well, yeah, hell yeah, it's a good example. And you know what's even funnier is that, well, just to double down even a little bit more on this, is that when I tell a girl to sit on my face, I'm not saying, hey, can you sit on my face? Hey, can you sit on my face, please? No, I'm telling her, hey, come over
oh,
here.
I'm sorry, can you do it? No, you just do it. Like you grab them, you lie down, you don't even need to verbalize it. Like you can verbalize it if you're going to make a part of the act. Like if it's going to be like if
A part
you
of the
get off
story.
the
A part of
verbalizing.
the story. Yeah, part of the
Yeah,
story. Like you're telling her, for example, like you're like, hey, how bad do you want that A plus on your exam? And she's like, oh, I really want it. It's like, all right, this is what you do. Sit on my face right now, and please, and I'm gonna, as a professor, I'm gonna lick your pussy. If your pussy tastes good, and if you do a good job, oh wait, oh, you got a little landing strip right there. Good job. You're ready again. You're right now. You're at a B, but let's see how it is when you get on top of me. You want to work for that A? Yes, Daddy. I want to work for that A. Get up here right now. Game. Come on. Game, set, match. Swish. Come on, none of these
right.
girls. After that, Mac, these girls, they can't, bro. No guy talks to these girls like this. No guy talks to these girls like this, man. And again, it's part of the act. It's part of the story. You just do it, man. No, I think your advice was very solid. Anything else you want to add on before we wrap it up?
Yeah, man. I mean, we yeah,
About what we were just talking about, and then we'll go ahead and do your plug, and we'll do all that stuff. Anything else you want to add about what we were just discussing?
yeah. It's just I don't know, embrace like some Japanese girls. It's like a thing where they say hentai and it's like it means pervert, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to kind of embrace it. I mean that's
Oh
not
yeah.
an insult. That is
Oh
not an
yeah.
insult, especially not
Oh
in
yeah.
that context. Like
Mhm.
when I tell a girl like like come here baby, like so like I don't even say it really, but they'd be like, oh hentai, hentai. Like they'll call me like hentai, and I'm like that'll get me off. Like I'll be like fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
and it's crazy, man. Here's the thing. Again, the moment this is a case of Mac. This is a special case with this girl. Just not doesn't she's not sure exactly how to react because she's never been in that situation before. That's what guys need to understand. A lot of these girls are super freaking nervous because they've never been instructed how to lead in the bedroom or how as a man leads them in the bedroom. So they're confused. They're like, oh wait, you want me to do this? Like, yeah, that's what I want you to do. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, yeah, let's do it.
yeah, they've been lied to. They've been like, oh, I need to get the checklist. Can you sign the South Park did a whole episode on, oh, can you sign the consensual form? It's like, dude, that is like, I need your consent here before I do the 69. Or can you get your consent? Can you sign the date? Oh, you didn't sign the date properly. Oh, you need to re-sign it. No, like.
Oh,
You get implied consent by can I kiss you? Oh fuck, girl will dry up like the Sahara Desert. Like,
oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, no, no. And guys, yeah. For the average guy, Mac, that's like them. But let me tell you something. If for all the average men that watch through this whole stream, I want to say thank you. And I want to also thank everybody who watched the stream as well. All the guys who asked questions, everyone who wrote top comments. Back to the average guys. I want to speak to you guys on something, okay? This is a very important topic. Sex is not a taboo. Sex is normal. Sex is biology. Sex is evolution. This is real life. Sex is real life. Mac and I have achieved something that a lot of guys will never achieve in their life. We're very privileged with this information, but we worked for it. It didn't come for free. Mac and I had to bust our freaking asses to get to where we are now mentally. And now we actually are saving the world by giving these girls the kind of dick that they've been craving their whole life. I feel like Mac and I are superheroes. we're sex superheroes. And we're saving these girls from all these dudes who give them this weird limp dick shit. Not sexual performance, but like just limp dick. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're weird. They're scared. If you gentlemen are in this situation, you need Mac's help. Reach out to Mac right now. Send him a follow on Instagram, please. You don't understand how much you're setting yourself back. I was one of these guys that I could do decent. I give myself like a C plus in bed. I wasn't like, amazing. I wasn't super. I just have, first of all, I have good size. So girls have told me that multiple times, but like that doesn't mean anything. That didn't keep the girl coming back to me. It didn't get her to text me and saying, I miss you so much. I'm thinking about your cock. None of these girls have said that shit to me until I worked on myself. I became centered with myself. And thanks to Mac's instruction, thanks to MLD and all these other guys in the community, Sterling Cooper's, big shout out to him as well. Now I'm a freaking sex god. Now I'm a sex superhero. And perfect timing, we got Mac's Instagram up here. Mac, my brother, thank you for coming on the show. I want to ask you, is there, where can we find you? What's your plug? Do you have a website? What's your coaching boot camp like? Please explain anything you want for the world to know about how they can find you.
Yeah, man. First of all, yeah, cheers for having me on, man. I thought it was a really good conversation, and we discussed a lot of great questions and all that. So like, the thing I'd like guys understand, men are made, like men are actually made. Like, so you could, if you're not, like, I wasn't always like this, so I became this. That's the best thing about being a man. You can be made. You can make yourself a man. Women just are, so we get a better deal, and that's why a lot of womanists really don't like us, because they understand the brutal reality of nature, and is that as men we kind of have an advantage where we can make ourselves into really savages, but yeah, like, if you want to follow me, check out, like you said, check out my website, macthedaygamer.com. Check out my Instagram. If you're interested in some getting into the finer details of the game, you could consider joining my premium content. You get access to a private Telegram group where I share infields, recordings, all kinds of stuff that I could absolutely not share on YouTube. Access to a private blog where I write about my success stories, advice, like, for example, the story I told about last night where yesterday, where I got a cold approach a girl and took her straight home and smashed all night. And a monthly webinar. So that's it. That's some premium content you could join up to. Check out my live stream, my YouTube channel. I live stream three times a week. So yeah, all that good stuff. Like, I'm on Twitter, everything. Mac the Day Gamer. Check me out.
And Mac the Day Gamer on YouTube is your name of your profile, right?
That's
on
right.
YouTube. Excellent, excellent. Brother, I want to say thank you so much for coming on again. Seriously, man, you helped me out a lot. I remember those mornings where I'll be on Body Language Mastery, listening to your lectures. And I don't know if you remember this. This is the funniest thing. I interrupted while you were like talking, and Ryan Christensen's like, Cameron, wait your turn. And I didn't want to wait. I had to ask you a question. Like, dude, I had to ask this guy a question. And then you were just being cool about it. You're like, oh, okay, no worries. And then I really wanted to ask you, because I was like, dude, I don't want to wait in front of like 200 guys or wait in line with 200 other guys to ask you these questions. That's how, guys, I'm telling you, I share this story with you, this embarrassing moment that I had with, like, in the community, but I share this with excitement and passion because Mac helped me out a lot. And he really opened my eyes that, dude, these girls, yes, they are going to be, innocent looking, pretty, all these other things. You're going to be swayed by their beauty, but deep down, they want some good ass dick. And who can give it well is you as a person. You can do it. Mac has done it, and I have done it now. And now we're both in a state of mind where we are set for life with girls. We are not going to ever worry about girls again. We have literally achieved what 99% of guys will never achieve in their life.
Abundance mindset, man.
Abundance mindset. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody again in the chat. Don't forget to Marcus. We didn't work on that, brother. It's Mac the Day Gamer on YouTube though. But Marcus, thank you, brother. I want to shout out to my mod Marcus for running the show with us. Everybody, this was a great show. This was episode 24. Her desires, your pleasure of the Gray Mill Podcast. Peace.
All right, peace out, guys.